Hey everyone. Yeah, I know it's a little dark right now and you can't see me, but hopefully while I'm doing this video, it will lighten up a little bit. And I do apologize for the fan in the background. But anyway, I did an audio on this, and I may or may not upload the audio. It's just a short 15-minute one, but I thought I'd probably finally do it on camera. I don't have to be at work for another. Well, I don't have to leave for work for another, basically 12 hours and 20 minutes, if you will. I don't have to leave for work for another 12 hours, 20 minutes, so. But anyway, like I said, I thought I'd talk about this first, I thought I'd talk about this. I don't think anybody's pointed this out or even looked at this yet, and I asked Jeff Shiegel, the Schleg Daddy at OTR Central. I asked him on Twitter and Facebook for a future Q&A, his thoughts on it, and I have to just wait and see if he responds or not. But I thought I kind of thought I'd talk about this for a second. I mean, is it just me, or does anybody else find it kind of ironic that as soon as TNA puts the world title, puts the world title on EC3, Ethan Carter III, that as soon as they do that, now almost ironically, as soon as they do that, PWI, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, which is one of the more respected and wrestling magazines out there. In fact, one of the real publications out there that you can literally take seriously. Is it me, or does anybody find it ironic that as soon as EC3 becomes champion, that PWI decides to take away TNA's world title status for the championship? I mean, literally, it's almost like as soon as Ethan Carter got the championship, as soon as he got the championship, PWI decided to take away the world title status from TNA. And I look at that and I say to myself, it's so ironic that they would do this immediately. Well, not immediately, but as soon as Ethan Carter, EC3, got the belt. And I don't know if it's maybe they just feel TNA is on its last legs and doesn't deserve the world title status anymore for the world championship. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if this is something they've been planning to do for a while and they just decided to do it, and it just coincidentally fell around the same time that EC3 got the belt. Or it's the fact that those at PWI just don't look at someone like EC3 as being world champion material. They don't. I mean, when you take a look at over the past 13 years this company has been in existence, every person that's held the world title, whether it's been the world title was represented as the NWA title or their own championship, the TNA world title, every person that's held that belt or has held the status as being that company's world champion, like I said, whether they were holding the NWA championship to represent the company or the TNA world title, never once did PWI ever take away the world title status. I mean, they could have easily, as far as the NWA is concerned, they could have easily took away the world title status from it, due to the fact that it was a dying brand, but they never did. They never did. They never took away the NWA world title status. You know, even when it was part of TNA, they never did that. And when TNA decided, hey, we're going to create our own world title, they never took the world title status away from anybody that held that championship. Excuse me. They never took the world title status away from the likes of a Bobby Roode or an Austin Aries or an Eric Young or anybody else that held that championship. But as soon as EC3 gets the belt, they decide we're going to take away. They ironically decide to take the world title status away from TNA. And I'm thinking whether or not it's just coincidental timing, it's just ironic timing, or it's just the fact that they just don't take EC3 seriously. And that's a fact right there. That's an obvious fact. I mean, think about it. Like I said, every person that's been the world champion, whether they were the world champion when TNA was partnered with the NWA or when TNA went off on its own, they never took the world title status away. When Bobby Roode had it, they never did it. When Sting had it, they never did it. When Austin Aries had it. When Magnus had it. When all these people had that world title status, they never took it away. When Lashley had it, they never took it away. They never did it. When James Storm briefly had the belt, they never took it away. They never, at any of these times that I know of, did they ever take the world title status off the TNA belt. Even, like I said, when the NWA Championship was the main representative of a world title, they never took it away. And when TNA went off on their own and made their own championship, they never took it away. But now, all of a sudden, you put the belt on EC3, it's like, oh, we're not recognizing you as a world championship anymore. And it's like, why? Why not recognize them? Is it because they pretty much feel the TNA is, a done goose, if you will, is fried and charred but good, charred broiled, is what is it? Is charred fried and is broiled and charred fried but good? Is that it? Is that why they feel it? Is that why they did it? That TNA is pretty much dead in the water in the next few months. Hello, TNA didn't have a home for a little while. Okay? Let me remind you of something. When TNA was making the transition from Fox Sports to Spike TV, they still had a world championship. Now I know you're thinking, well, they were still associated with the NWA, Brian. Of course they still had a world championship. That's the truth. But like I said, PWI could have taken the world title status away from them then because they weren't sure of the future. But they never did. They never ever did. And to me, I just think it's ironic that it happens that they take the world title status away at the same time TNA decides to finally put the belt on EC3. Here's a question. Would they have done it if TNA decided, okay, let's put the world title on EC3 at Bound for Glory last year? Like, if they did Bound for Glory correctly, the right way, and at least had a world title match in Japan, and instead of EC3 taking on this sumo guy, I can't think of his name right now, this guy that has a name that honors Rikishi, even though Rikishi's still alive, but you get the idea. Even though this guy that obviously pays tribute to Rikishi They could have put a world title match right there for EC3 and let him win there. Here's the question: if they would have done that, would they have taken the world title status away then? Who knows? Maybe, I don't know. But to me, this just shows the fact. This just shows the fact that whether it's ironicness or coincidentalness, it just shows to me that even those at the Pro Wrestling Illustrated cannot take TNA seriously anymore, and they pretty much feel that they are charred, fried, boiled, but good, to quote Linkar in one of his reviews. And to me, I don't think it's maybe coincidental that they did it. I don't think it's just coincidence or ironicness that it all happened at the same time. I think in a sense, honestly, now that I think about it, PWI was probably planning to do this the moment TNA decided to put the belt on EC3. And here's why. I think some of the people at PWI don't take EC3, formerly Derek Bateman, in the WWE, seriously. You know why? Because here's a guy they pretty much see that before he came to TNA, it was established as Ethan Carter III, EC3, and has gone on this unbeaten streak, this singles unbeaten streak, for the past year and a half. You know, they don't, you know, even though that's impressive and everything, and worthy of making him the world champion for the company, they don't look at that. They look at a guy that for a majority of his WWE run was a jobber that went through every loop, every hoop that he could think of in the WWE to try to establish himself, to try to make a name for himself, and nothing worked. They look at a guy that even though he's been reborn in TNA, they still look at a guy that was the first man eliminated in a SmackDown 40-man Battle Royal to name the #1 contender to the world title. They look at a guy that ran around the ring on Superstars and Saturday Morning Slam, and who knows where else, SmackDown maybe, main event, with a little miniature American flag above his, holding a little miniature American flag above his head, calling himself Mr. USA. They're looking at a guy that was feuding in NXT with the man formerly known, what was his name? Well, basically the man now known as Fandango. Johnny Curtis, that's who it was. Johnny Curtis, the man now known as Fandango, that was the last main program he had. And did it work? No. It's like, those at PWI don't see what he's done now, and they just look at what he did on the main stage of WWE, and some people probably there, in my opinion, are thinking, seriously? This is TNA's answer for a world champion? This is who they're going to put the belt on now? A guy that basically was a nothing in WWE, didn't know exactly who he was, was mainly a jobber and enhancement talent. They're putting the belt on him? That's pretty much what I think they look at. They pretty much look at someone that was an enhancement talent and not somebody that went to a company. Yes, it's a company in disarray right now, is on its last legs probably, that allowed him to be reborn, allowed him to tap into that charisma, that personality that he had, that he couldn't do in WWE. But they don't see that. I don't think those at PWI that do the rankings, because if you read a lot of the PW Wrestling magazines, whether you read them digitally or physically, at the end of each book, they have a ranking. They have rankings of all of the promotions, from the world champion and to who ranks in the top 10 to, and for a shot at that promotion's world title. They rank them from WWE, formerly TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan, AAA, Lucha Underground probably, CZW, heck, even PPW, Paragon Pro Wrestling, which ironically has a national television deal with Pop TV, has a world championship in their name. And yet, these guys that do these rankings decide to pull TNA out of that main, main 5, 6, 7, main 8, if you will, of which consisted of TNA, WWE, Ring of Honor, New Japan, AAA, CZW, Lucha Underground, PPW probably. They decided to take them out and make it, a main 7 now? And what are they going to put in their place? GFW's world champion? It's like, it just amazes me that despite how you feel about TNA, and believe me, TNA has done a lot of stupid shit, excuse my language, Lord, it's done a lot of stupid shit over the past couple of years. But when they finally make a decision to put the belt on somebody that deserves it, that has earned it, that is getting over, whether as a bad guy or heel or a tweener, they decide to take the world title status away. What? Because it's coincidence of the timing? It's ironicness by the timing? No. Honestly, I think they take it away because of the fact that they don't see someone that went to a company that, yes, is in dire straits right now, and decided to be reborn into who he is now. They don't see that. They see a guy that was in WWE used as an enhancement talent, a jobber that was a joke, that's last legit try, getting something, putting that whose last legit try at trying to find something for him to latch on to and make something out of, and that is the Mr. USA gimmick. They look at that more than they look at what he's done in TNA. And maybe they add in some of the comedic stuff that he's done in TNA over the past year or so, and they combine that with what he did in WWE, and they can't honestly take him seriously. I mean, here's the guy that everybody, from the Schleg Daddy, Don Tony, Kevin Castle, Solomonster, everybody that whether they like TNA or they don't, has said is the best thing going for that company right now and deserves to be a world champion. And yet, as soon as he gets that shot, TNA loses it thanks to PWI decides to take it away. And honestly, in my opinion, folks, I don't think it's timing. I don't think it's a coincidental timing. I don't think it's ironicus. I think PWI, the people that do the rankings at the end of those magazines, I think those people had it planned out that as soon as EC3 got that championship, they were going to take world title status away from TNA. Now you want to know where you find TNA? You find it on the side of that same double spread page at the end of the magazine, but you see it now in that little corner with all those other regional indie promotions where the champion is named right first in bold letters, and that's it. Nothing of world champion. It just says, like, say, Texas Championship Wrestling. No offense against TCW if it still exists. Where it would say TCW champion, da da da. Now you see TNA champion, EC3. And that's it. They don't see anything else. They don't see world champion or anything. And to me, folks, yes, TNA has done a lot of dumb dick things. Excuse my language, Lord, again. They've done a lot of dumb dick things in the past. Don't get me wrong. Okay? But TNA, for every negative they